I spent way too many years in my health and fitness journey struggling with my body image and my confidence, my ability to, even lose fat and lose the weight that I wanted to. I felt like I can never really achieve this lean physique that I was after. I struggled with my food and my nutrition. It didn't come very effortless to me. It didn't come very natural to me. I tried everything to eat healthy, but I still kind of fell off. I struggled for so long with actually feeling good and happy in my body, and that all left me just feeling very disconnected to my body, and it kept me stuck for years. And it's because I didn't know back then what I know now, and I'm going to share that here with you today so that you don't feel stuck anymore and that you can actually start to see success in your health and fitness journey that feels aligned with you and that actually will work for your body and for your life. So chances are, if you're here right now watching this video, you are struggling to make health and fitness work for you. And especially if you are a career-driven woman like myself, we are high achievers. We're juggling so many things. Maybe you're working a 9 to 5. Maybe you're a business owner, or you have very stressful long hours and you put a lot of pressure on yourself and you love to work, but then you also have a busy family life. You have house responsibilities, you have a social life that you're managing, whatever it is, our circumstances are all a little bit different. You're struggling to balance this very demanding life and still feel confident in your skin, still get the results that you're wanting to. You feel like you can never just balance it all. You can never achieve the life and the dream version of yourself that you're after. I was there too. I was also juggling so many different things. I was that high achiever. I am that high achiever today. So, the high achiever mindset is go all in. We want to crush our goals. We want to do the best that we can. And honestly, this mindset, it's got its perks. We've gotten to the point where we are in this life because of it. You're successful in your career. You have a lot of these amazing things because you like to achieve things, you like to accomplish. However, it also has its cons. And, one of the cons of a high achiever mindset is perfectionism and is trying to be perfect and to, strive to do our best to the point where it's completely unsustainable and unrealistic for our lives. And when we take that to our health and fitness and we go all in, we strive to be perfect, this gets us caught in a very vicious all or nothing cycle, whether we realize it or not. Whether it's Monday through Friday, you're perfectly on routine, getting in all of the things you have to get done, and then the weekends you go crazy, or maybe you're doing it for a couple weeks or a couple months, and then something comes up with work and with life, and there's a lot on your plate, and then you completely fall off for a couple more months. The all or nothing cycle, the timelines are different, but the overall theme is the same. You do really well, and then you don't do very well, and you're off. You're either all in or all off, and it's never something that you can maintain for years at a time. And this is where most women go wrong because they have these really high expectations. They get stuck in this all or nothing trap. They're chasing approaches where it is going to lead them to putting a lot of pressure on themselves. Like, most of the traditional one size fits all approaches that 9 out of 10 women go to is, well, I want to lose weight. I have this body that I want to achieve. So I'm going to cut my calories. I'm going to cut out the bread. I'm going to cut out the sugar, the alcohol. I can't have chocolate. I have to skip out on the family pizza nights with my family. I have to say no to the brunch with my besties, no to bottomless mimosas. I have to say no to this work event. I have to watch other people eat burgers while I eat a salad. I have to say no to all the office donut parties that we're having. We think we have to just be completely off and say no to all of these, or be completely on and say no to all of these, that it gets to a point where inevitably we're going to slip up. We are human. We cannot be perfect. And when we do slip up, it's usually not a one-time slip up. Like, oopsie, I made a mistake. It's usually oh my gosh, I can't believe I just had a chocolate chip cookie, but oh my gosh, it tasted so great. Well, since I already messed up today, I think I'm going to keep going. I already feel terrible about myself, so let me just continue to kind of fall into this self-pity trap and this trap of guilt and shame, and I can feel better about it on Monday. But that cycle repeats, and that will then further deteriorate your confidence in yourself, not just in your body, but your inner confidence, your inner happiness. Because what's happening is, confidence is the way that we build confidence is keeping the promises that you make to yourself. And when you set these really, really, really high unrealistic expectations for yourself, you're not going to keep those promises. Like that's the honest truth. You try and keep these promises, you're not going to keep these promises because you cannot be perfect. And when you don't keep these promises and you do slip up, then you feel even guiltier, even more shameful, and you get stuck in this self-sabotage cycle. So this cycle will repeat and repeat and repeat and will cause a lack of inconsistency when you continue to go to these approaches that cause you to restrict all of your food and to do a whole bunch of cardio, because typically, again, these one-size-fits-all approaches are, well, if you want to lose weight, if you want to lose fat, you want to feel good in your skin, you can't have these things. You have to burn less, or you have to burn more calories and eat less calories so that you can lose weight. And that we put so much pressure on ourselves to do that, and we take it to the extreme. That's typically what high achievers do, is we take it to the extreme. So we eat as little as we can, and we're hungry and we're starving, and we push as hard as we can with these cardio classes that we're burnt out and we're depleted. And so not only does it impact your confidence, your mental and your emotional well-being, but then it starts to impact your physical body. And this, yes, we haven't really seen the results, already. You're seeing some results, but then you're gaining the weight back, and that's going to impact, the number on the scale. But it's also going a little bit deeper than that, because when we do these eat less, move more approaches, you're eating 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, because, that's what we're told to do to be in a calorie deficit. We have to eat very little. And that's typically, if you've seen the most results, the quickest way possible, it's typically when we go to those extremes. So you're eating 1,000 calories. You're pushing through that. You're already physically stressed because your body needs more calories than that to breathe. And I'll also explain that here in just a second. And then you're also adding on top of that, you're trying to burn more calories. So you're doing more cardio, and you're doing either the HIIT classes, running on the treadmill, whatever you can to do cardio. And then you also have the mental stress weighing on you from your demanding life, your go lifestyle. You're, again, balancing that career, putting a lot of pressure on yourself to achieve there, and then also trying to be the best mom that you can be, the best friend that you can be, the best partner that you can be. There's so much pressure on yourself as a high achiever, and this is just, again, the personality type that we are. And so when you have all of that pressure, all of that tension, all of that stress, your body absorbs that stress in a way. And so again, I'm going to explain this here. First being your metabolism. When you go through these periods and these on and off cycles of under eating at 1,000, 1,200 calories, you're in diet mode, and then you overeat, you overindulge, and you spike your calories up, and you're constantly yo-yoing. Each time you yo-yo, your metabolism will start to adapt and it will get impacted. And so when I said, you're burning, like you need more than 1,200 calories to keep you alive and breathing, that's your basal metabolic rate. So how many calories your body burns when you're sitting in bed, doing nothing all day, just everything that your body needs to keep everything inside of you functioning. And when we're eating below that, your body starts to get stressed out and it will adapt to that lower number. And that, on top of the mental stress, and that physical stress your brain will signal to your body, to your adrenal glands, to pump out cortisol. And cortisol is your stress hormone. And cortisol can be really great when it's balanced properly, when it's doing its correct job. When it's not, and when it's elevated for too long because of our habits and our approaches and our mindset and what we're doing to our body, it's going to stay elevated, and your body doesn't understand the difference between, I just want to look good in a bikini, I just want to lose a bunch of weight and feel confident in my skin, so I'm going to stress my body out to do that as quick as possible. It doesn't know the difference from that between, trying to fight off a bear and trying to survive this bear attack. And so your body is in this constant state of fight or flight. And so when it's in this constant state of fight or flight, you're not going to be able to efficiently burn fat. Your body's actually going to try and store energy, store fat in order to protect itself. So your hormones and your metabolism, it's doing everything that it's supposed to do. It's honestly, the hard truth, it's you that are setting your hormones and your metabolism up for disaster and failure, essentially, because you're not giving it the support that it needs to actually work efficiently. You're not giving your metabolism the support that it needs to be able to burn calories efficiently and to do its function. Same thing with your hormones. You're letting the stress, the physical stress and the mental stress and how you're approaching it, you're letting that impact your stress levels and therefore how much cortisol your body is actually pumping out. This can then lead to inflammation in the gut because you're so stressed, and your mind and your gut are connected through what we call the vagus nerve. And so when you are mentally stressed or you're negative or you're hard on yourself, this along with any hormonal imbalances, slower metabolism, this can actually cause inflammation within the body. So in the most simplest way, your body, your gut will absorb that stress. And so then we start to see more fatigue. We start to see more, inflammation, more bloating, more digestion issues, more leaky gut, IBS symptoms. You start to see that a little bit more. And then, this also suppresses your immune system. So your body isn't really that great at fighting off illnesses or diseases or, even just a common cold. So you're getting sick often, and then you're just so many issues, and you're not really feeling your best. So when we take this approach, you're not only setting your body up for failure and, inevitable failure, because you can never lose the weight and keep it off. You're always yo-yoing. This will then impact your confidence, your mental and emotional health. It will also impact how you feel on a day-to-day basis. You're more stressed. You're more fatigued, you're more tired, you're exhausted, you're bloated. And this bloating, like I said, when your mind and your gut are connected and your gut will absorb that stress. Well, the same thing. When your gut is out of balance and there's more bad bacteria in your gut than there is good bacteria, and there's an imbalance there, then this can cause mood disorders. This can cause more heightened levels of depression, of anxiety. And so then you're actually not as happy and as joyful and as vibrant as you really want to be. So overall, this just leads you to such a disaster, such a mess. You don't feel like the happiest, healthiest version of yourself. And you're, on top of that, you're unable to actually lose the weight and keep it off. I know it just kind of went on a huge rant there, but this was the mistakes that I made for years that kept me stuck, that kept me disconnected from my body, disconnected from my highest, best version of myself. I lost myself. I really didn't recognize who I was, and I was miserable, and I hated feeling like this, and I don't want you to feel like this. And we have to understand these things so that we can take a better approach, a more aligned approach, a more supportive, caring, loving approach for our bodies, for our lives, so that we can not only lose the weight and keep it off, but goes deeper than that. We can feel great. We can support our body systems. We can reduce bloating, reduce fatigue, get our energy back. This opens up so many opportunities. It has ripple effects on your life. You're able to have more energy, more productivity at work. So you're getting more promotions. You're more confident. You are spending more time with your kids. You have your energy back and your endurance back to play with your kids, to do all the things that we love to do long term. When we're in our 60s, 70s, 80s, we have strength to be able to navigate the older periods of our life with strength, with confidence, with vitality. We have to also recognize those things and not just be so hyper fixated on the number on the scale, because that's going to get you nowhere. You can still lose weight. And honestly, it's not just about losing weight, it's about losing fat too, and keeping and maintaining and building muscle mass. So we can still achieve our dream physique while feeling great. And I wish I knew that, because I did not know that. I was like, it's just, I guess this is the cost of wanting to be skinny, wanting to lose weight, wanting to, do this or that. Like, I'm going to be miserable. I'm going to be starving. Like, I genuinely thought that losing weight had to be such a miserable process. And it does not. It does not have to be miserable. So in the simplest way possible for me to break this down even further without me going on a whole nother rant is do the opposite of everything that I just said, of the approach that you are taking. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to speed up and to, see these results as quick as possible. Slow down. Slow down with your approach to health and fitness. You don't need to be going to the gym 7 times a week just to burn as many calories as possible. You're on the brink of burnout already, so you cannot add more fuel to the fire. Don't be doing that. And you need to slow down in life in general. Like, I know it's hard because so many of us have different circumstances and different things going on, but in this modern day world, it's extremely hard to slow down, but you have to have some pockets of time where you can slow down, you can rest, you can recover, you can, really rejuvenate your soul. You can really get that peace back so that you can pour into your cup and then therefore show up better in life. We can't let the go modern day lifestyle get ahead of us. We can't let this life control us. We have to take our power back and try and take back some control over our day. So maybe that's just setting up your mornings for success, because that's when you have a little bit more quiet time. So it's really prioritizing that special quiet time for yourself in the morning so that you can better tackle the day. Or that maybe that's, comes down to how you're managing your day, and it's how taking deep breaths throughout the day, not letting, mean clients or supervisors or whatever get to you. And it's about how can you control what you can control and let other people do what they got to do, because you can't do any of that. It's just the little tidbits we can take to slow down, to protect our peace, and to then pour back into our soul and our body and our minds and our mental well-being so that we can be the best that we can within our control, because we have to take responsibility for that. We can't give our power to other people. Well, I can't actually slow down and lose the weight and pour back into myself because I have kids, because they're always, screaming and yelling and I have to be parenting, or because my parents raised me this way, or because my spouse is mean to me, or, I'm not in a great relationship. We're giving them power over our actions. So again, circumstances are going to be different. I'm not saying that, these circumstances are not making it difficult, but we have to take responsibility and honestly stop playing the victim in certain areas and prioritize what is important to us. It doesn't mean you have to, again, go all out, try and be all perfect, right? We already discussed that was just the complete opposite that we should take. We have to actually give ourselves grace. We have to find joy in the process. We should feel empowered from our health and fitness journey, because we're making really amazing choices for ourselves and for our bodies, and we're pouring into our cup. We're doing workouts that actually energize us, that don't leave us feeling depleted. That's a sign that, if you are feeling depleted from your workouts, that you're going too hard, that you're on the brink of burnout. So we should feel energized and empowered from our workouts, and we should make sure that we're giving our body the nutrients that it needs, that we have energy, that we have, we're not dealing with bloating. We actually feel good when we wake up and we're pouring into ourselves. That process should be joyful. It should feel, again, empowering and exciting. And when we can do that, then we can be the best version of ourselves, no matter the circumstances that are around us. And then we can show up better for other people. And on top of that, we can actually achieve the weight loss results that we want to, because when you feel good and you're giving your body what it needs, your body will feel safe. It will feel protected, and it will actually do what you want it to do when you work with your body. And this reminds me a lot actually of one of our clients here at Healthy Soul Coaching Group, Tasha. She came to us just completely in the eat less, move more mentality. She high achiever, type A, perfectionist, all the things. And so she was going to the gym 6 to 7 times a week, and she was doing the high intensity cardio, trying to burn as many calories as possible, doing the high reps, the low weights, just trying to work up a sweat. On top of that, she was also eating around 1,600 calories, 1,500 calories a day, I believe. Still trying to eat healthy. Like, she did not eat processed foods. She ate a bunch of protein, ate her veggies, and she still could not get the scale to budge. And using the exact type of tactics that I basically just taught you in here today. And I told you, today we actually reduced the intensity that she was working out. And that was really hard for her at first. She actually had to take some rest days. Very not normal for her. We actually, again, we didn't focus on how much she was sweating or how many calories she was burning. I actually told her not to focus on that at all. And instead, really focused on intentional movement, strategic, smart, efficient workouts that were actually going to allow her body to rest and recover and allow her muscles to get stronger, give her metabolism a boost, and therefore drop her body fat percentage as well too. And on top of that, we gave her more food. So she actually ate more food. She, she had a very big fear of food as well too. So like peanut butter because it was high in fat, bread because of the carbs, like carbs are bad, pizza, she never would really allow herself to have any type of pizza or enjoy any type of social outing. She always had to say no, and that was very restricting for her. So we actually allowed her to have more freedom. So we worked through a strategy that gave her more food freedom, that allowed her to eat more. So she was eating peanut butter, enjoying pizza nights. She was eating more calories. She was working out less, not focused on just the number on the scale, but actually getting her energy back, actually not focused on all of these surface level things and really focused on, well, how do you feel? We have to, number one, focus on how you're feeling, the freedom and the mental space that not restricting kind of frees up. And then also the right strategy to workouts, to rest, to recovery, to stress management, to hormone support, so that we can get your body working for you. Because of that, in 12 weeks, she lost 10 pounds. So she lost 10 pounds, but she gained a lot of muscle. She gained a lot of strength. She gained her energy and her food freedom back and her confidence back. So, I tell this because it works. Like, it's simple. It seems opposite, but it works. When you give your body what it needs, you're going to stop fighting your body. You're going to stop feeling like you're stuck in this all or nothing cycle that's just causing inconsistency, that's causing you to never see the results long term and to actually feel terrible in the process. When you focus on how you're feeling, on supporting your body, on slowing down, on giving your body what it needs, I promise you the results will come and you will feel so much better. And again, it's not just about the number on the scale. It is about how you feel, your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health. We have to align all of these so that you are actually embracing an approach that is aligned and that is right for you, that's intentional, and that it fits your lifestyle. Everyone is so unique. You need to take this kind of approach so that you are not so overworked. You don't have all this pressure on yourself. You don't have this lack of fulfillment in your life, and you can pour into yourself, stress less, feel great, burn more calories, hopefully live longer. That's the goal too. We're setting up our bones and our joints and our muscles for success. This will help to manage, all of these symptoms that you're experiencing and actually give you that joy and energy back. So I hope that this episode was really, really helpful. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about this topic, and I just want you to know that I spent so long doing things the wrong way because I didn't know these things. I want you to know these things and save the years of struggle that I went through so that you can actually start to see results that last. And in the meantime, we actually I just created a freebie. It's called the Alpha Females Formula for Stress-Free Fat Loss. So specific for the high achievers, the perfectionists, the type A's, the people that like to accomplish things and that put a lot of pressure on themselves, that are doing so many things, that are doing all these things for other people and struggling to really prioritize themselves. This is for you. So if any of this related to you, I have a deeper training that kind of dives into it a little bit more on specific actionable steps that you can start taking to really see this stress-free fat loss happen for your life. So link in the show notes or in the description, wherever you are watching and listening to this here today, to go grab that. And yeah, I hope it was very helpful for you. I hope that this video was very, very valuable and, really hits home. If you want to hear more from me, go follow my Instagram at Trainer Peyton. Make sure that you subscribe here to the YouTube channel or follow along the podcast, the Healthy Soul podcast. But I'm just so glad that you're here, and I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.